Good morning. How's everyone doing? Are we ready to talk about housing? Yes, definitely a key issue for the state and of course locally and regionally. I have a couple of more housekeeping points to mention. If we can have all of you move up a little bit closer so we can fill the frame, as we have our photographer Harvey Bramman here. Don't worry, none of the speakers will bite. So if you can move up as much as you can, and we would greatly appreciate it. It's always nice to have a full picture instead of gaps. And the other item is, I know you are probably enjoying the refreshments provided by Bon Appetit from Woodbury University, but please make sure, if you can, to clean up after yourselves and bring the plate or cup, and if something drops on the floor, if you can help us clean that up as well. But of course, we'll do a final sweep when we are done here, but we appreciate your help with that, okay? So welcome to Woodbury University. My name is Helen Hua. I'm the executive director with the BizFed Institute. It was just about a month and a half ago where we had our last forum, which was hitting reset on public education for workforce readiness. So now we're at housing. And that's what we do. That's what the Institute does. We convene groups like you together, and also the experts that you'll also see today together to talk about emerging or very important issues that are happening throughout our local area and throughout the state. BFI is actually a statewide effort. So, for example, next month I will be headed to the California Economic Summit, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But what I'd like to do is just explain the Institute a little bit. A lot of you may already know about BizFed, which is our advocacy arm. We're actually part of what I call a trifecta, because there's the BizFed advocacy arm, which is the original organization that started all this. And the BizFed Institute is the data research-driven side. We're the clearinghouse for all the research out there, and we host forums like these to pass along knowledge to the public and also the business community. And we work hand in hand with the BizFed advocacy side with the over 150 members that are part of BizFed. And also we have our BizFed PAC, who works with a lot of our electeds. So with all these three organizations, we're able to do a lot, mobilize and get our issues out there and act on a lot of goals that we have, rather just, just have a forum and call it a day. We have the forums, we publish a white paper-like report to follow up on the forum, and we actually list actionable goals where we bring that to the advocacy side. So the Institute, now with me on board, I'm focused on the Institute, and I'm looking forward to growing that in the coming year. And I need your help. If you have any topics that you would like to see more of at our forums, definitely let us know. My business card is out front, but definitely feel free to talk to me today. I'll be around, of course, all day. And so before we move ahead, I do want to point out that also, since I've been in, not only have we had our first annual report, but we're now online. We have a couple social media accounts that are active, and you'll see that today. We have the BizFed Institute at Twitter, so please take some pictures during our 2 panels and tag us on Twitter. And we're also on Facebook as well. We're just growing. We just started the account just about a month and a half ago, so any additions today will help us grow our social media accounts. And finally, before I take the stage or get off the stage, I would like to introduce our next speaker, MC Townsend, who is our current 2016 BizFed Institute Chair, is also the president of the Regional Black Chamber of Commerce of San Fernando Valley, whose primary goal includes providing regional services for small, minority, and women-owned businesses. Madam President has ingrained her footprints at Washington, D.C., with special recognition in the Hall of Records, U.S. Congress, and she was a 2013 nominee for the National Mentor of the Year. Not only that, she has been steadfast in her local community service commitments in both Northern and Southern California. Her solid business background includes expertise in crafting requirements into strategies and event marketing, cultivated by her years in communications. She has earned a reputation as the leader who knows how to turn contacts into contracts with potential business members by providing access and visibility. So on that note, I would like to bring up our 2016 BizFed Institute Chair, MC Townsend. Please give her a round of applause.
Thanks, Helen. It's always good to see you, and welcome aboard. Helen is our newest member in the family this year. Thank you so much. Wow, good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right. The other side is, the folks are coming. They're stuck in traffic, so we'll get this side filled up in just a little bit. In the meanwhile, you're the most important folks in this room today, because why? You're here, you're on time, and we love it. We absolutely love it. But good morning again. Welcome, everyone. I am, as Helen indicated, the 2016 BizFed Chair. So I certainly welcome you overwhelmingly this morning, particularly on this very special forum we're having today on housing now, turning NIMBYs into YIMBYs. And of course, that phrase NIMBY is a shorthand to describe people who oppose projects that they think is, too much density and traffic and noise and lowering their property values per se. Folks that say NIMBY, not in my backyard. Well, today's program is going to focus on how to get more buy in our community so that more folks will stand up and declare YIMBY, yes, in my backyard, people. Because of the housing shortage itself, and I know everyone is very much aware of it, it's very bad here in Los Angeles and throughout California. We just got to figure out how to make this housing project work. We got to get more housing built. Would you agree? Yeah. And I'm not just talking about developing policy prescriptions and implementing something over the next 10, 20, 50 years. I'm really talking about building houses now. And I look around, there are so many people in nearby neighborhoods who are literally, and I know you recognize this, sleeping in the streets or in their cars now. There are working families who have to choose between, feeding their kids and paying the rent now. Students that are trying to get through colleges who have, basically being couch surfers and showering in the local campus gym right now. There are senior citizens that are stuck waiting on this long, imaginable list, waiting on senior housing right now. So ladies and gentlemen, I share with you, we need a solution now. So today we've assembled, in my opinion, some of the most amazing panel of experts that comes from employers, labor, and community members, many of you here in the room, that we can all row in the same direction, and I mean immediately. This panel today, you'll see, represents some very major players here in California, especially in the southern region here. So I'm hoping by the end of this forum, we'll all find some common ground that we can all work together and really get behind this housing crisis thing. And hopefully you'll be inspired from all the conversation you hear today to get other folks involved. I mean, that's really the key. Get your neighbors, get your, the guy next door, the friend, the worker, whoever it is, get them involved. Because oftentimes people, they're fretting and wringing their hands about homeless this and homeless that. And, they can't afford to move. The kids are too far away, so they can't afford to live close by. But my concern, my question to you good folks this morning, are we doing all we can to help that situation out? How many of us are showing up at city council meetings, right? Be able to move the agenda in support of projects in our neighborhood? Are we really demanding updates in the community plans? Have we gone to the planning committee division recently? Just regular folks like you and I, we can play a very major role, guys, in this housing situation. I know most of you in this room will be those type of people and help me as a friend and get your neighbors and friends to help mobilize us in that same project. We need to implement housing now. Now, before I turn the microphone over to our host today, I want to take a moment and thank some of our generous sponsors that has made this possible today. As my granny would say, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. All you folks got in today free, and you're enjoying the wonderful Bon Appetit out there, and it's really because of great thanks and support to our sponsors here today. So we are very deeply grateful to have them for underwriting this event. So I want you to really appreciate every time you sip that cup of coffee or having a bite of, be really thankful for that, because we really can't put these events on without our wonderful sponsors. So give me a moment. Let me acknowledge a few of them in the room. City National Bank, Teresa Dunn Lucas. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your support. Southland Regional Association of Realtors, Mel Wilson, Jim Link, and Elizabeth DeCardelet. Union Bank, Sylvia Casil. California Community Foundation, Chris Gojet and Chris Hubbard. Of course, the Southern California Association of Government, AKA SCAG, the gracious Honorable Hassan and Darren Chinsey. Smile, ladies and gentlemen, the great Randy Witt production, Randy Witt. And I think Helen shared with you, you are being filmed today, so big smile. Be on your best behavior. Certainly, and Woodbury University, we've been here a number of times, and we can't thank them enough. President David Steele-Figueredo and Kelly Nicoli. The California Forward team, that's going to be one of the presenters today from the California Economic Summit, including Justin Evers, Susan Lovenberg, and Fred Silver. So we're very fortunate to really have those sponsors, and we thank them. So give them one special round of applause, if you will. Okay. I'd like to also thank, while we're here today, because we're very fortunate for them to take time out of their busy schedules that we put them to work to do, and they're looking out for our interests, is to really recognize some of our elected officials or their representatives that are here with us today. The one and only, the new mayor of Pomona, the Honorable Tim Sandoval. Representative from the office of our controller, Betty Yee, Alan LaFossa. Thank you for being here. Give our very best to a wonderful Betty Lee, the Honorable Betty Lee. And I've got a couple more that scribble here, and obviously I don't read French. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. But are there anyone else being represented from any of elected officials' offices we've overlooked? We certainly don't want to overlook you at all. Anyone who want to be an elected official? Okay, okay. All right, very well. We'll move on, but I really want to thank everyone today. And I'll be really, really remiss because as chair of BizFed, I enjoy taking the courtesy up here, but behind the scene is great working people, and part of that is certainly the BizFed Board of Directors. All of you that are in the audience, can you just stand so I don't have to pull my hair out to call each one by name? Any BizFed Institute chair members here today? Wherever you are, stand. Stand. There's Steve. Thank you so much back there, all right? See, we're going to recognize this, Steve, guys. Just three of us here, okay. But it would certainly be my honor now, ladies and gents, this morning to introduce our host for today. As I say, being here at Woodbury University is hold very dear to me. serving as president and CEO of the Regional Black Chamber, I run into different folks all the time. And in fact, I'm not sure if Dr. Cleo Hill Jackson is here today. She also was an alumni. There you are, Dr. Jackson, of Woodbury University. So when I have an opportunity to talk about and be here in the presence, it warms my heart. So I want to especially thank certainly the president of Woodbury University today, Dr. Steele-Figueredo, first of all, for hosting us here today. Let me share you a little something about the president here of Woodbury University. He was a graduate at Birmingham University in England, the University of California at Berkeley, and the Walden School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. He's quite fluent in Spanish. And in addition to England and Venezuela, he has lived in Japan, where would it be? Belgium, Spain, Barbados, and Trinidad. Before beginning his academic career, he played a variety of strategic roles with Chevron. And before coming to Woodbury, he was the dean of the Graduate School of Business at San Jose State University. We truly thank him today for hosting us, and I would ask each of you graciously to stand and let me introduce to some and present to others the president of Woodbury University, Dr. Steele-Figueredo. Good morning again. It's always good seeing you. Absolutely. Thank you for having us, sharing your house with us today.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
Good morning. 2 days ago, I celebrated my first year at Woodbury University, but I continue to call myself the new president of Woodbury University because that gives me a kind of a honeymoon period to continue to make some changes to this great university. I'd like to just comment on two things, and one is a positive thing and the other one is a concern. The positive thing is one of the great pride points of Woodbury University is that we find jobs for our graduates at a much higher rate than the typical university. I don't have the statistics yet for 2016, but for 2015, 92.4% of the graduates of 2015 had full-time jobs within 6 months. Yeah. So I'd like to thank the businesses and other entities in BizFed because many of you are hiring our graduates. If my memory is correct, the 2015 graduation class, 192 different employers hired our graduates. And going back to those statistics, only 1.8% were unemployed after that 6-month period, and the difference was graduate students that decided to go on and do an MBA or some other graduate program. So we're very proud of that statistic, and thank you again for everything that you have done personally to hire some of our graduates. As you heard, I was born in Venezuela. My first language is Spanish, so I am officially classified as Hispanic because of my mother's maiden name, Figueredo. We're going through, and I'm not taking any political sides here, I'm just mentioning a concern. We're going through a very difficult period right now because almost 26% of the student body is Hispanic, and over 25% of the student body is international. So you have over half of the students in this institution which are very concerned about the future. And so last night I wrote an email to the international students talking about the importance of diversity, the importance of inclusiveness, and the importance of everything that we do as a civilized community here at Woodbury. And I'm going to continue to do everything I can to communicate with the students that irrespective of the rhetoric that may have gone on for the last year, that we are a community that stands together. And this is really a concern given that literally more than half of our student population is concerned about their status in the future. So I would encourage you to do everything you can to have a civilized dialogue on this important issue. So thank you. Some other points of pride. Since I've been here a year, I don't take credit for many of these things, but we have a tremendous effort in civic engagement. It is part of the DNA of our community here at Woodbury. Last year, we calculated that over 30% of the students, faculty, and staff were involved in some kind of civic engagement, and that we spent over 100,000 hours last year doing civic and community engagement. One of the reasons that that number is so high is that we have a practice-based educational system, namely that in order to graduate, you have to have an internship, or you have to have a community service assignment, or that you have to have the equivalent number of work hours before you can graduate, so that many of the employers, at least that I've talked to, like our graduates because they claim that they hit the ground running, primarily because of this community engagement and also the practice-based education. So that's really one of the biggest pride points, in addition to the fact that we have a very small class size, average is 14, so that we have a tremendous interaction between faculty and student, something that frankly does not exist in my previous institution, San Jose State University, where some of the class sizes were 600. The average class size was 44. And students cannot get the classes that they need to graduate. So one of the things that we're very proud of is that we do graduate students within 4 years and have a guarantee that if you follow the academic plan, you can graduate in 4 years. So I just want to give you a sample of some of the things that we're struggling with and some of the things that we're very proud of. And again, we would love to continue hosting this event. We're very fortunate to have this close collaboration with the businesses in this area. So thank you for coming to Woodbury University, and look forward to hosting you in the future.